I don't know if y'all saw what's been going on in the House of Representatives, but they ooh, they had it out. Ooh, that was better than Real Housewives. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty good. Okay, in case you didn't see what happened, basically they were having a committee hearing, and I don't really know how they work. They use certain rules of order where they're like point of order, you know, and there's like this moderator that doesn't do his job and stuff. And basically, Representative, I think her name was Jasmine Crockett, said to Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's like, do you know what we're talking about right now? Do you know what we're here for? And then Marjorie Taylor Greene said, I do know what we're here for. Do you know what we're here for? Because those fake eyelashes might be messing up your reading. And immediately, everyone had a reaction, and AOC was the one to be like, hey, can we strike this from the record? You can't do this. Like, this is crazy. You're not supposed to engage in personal attacks on appearance or personality during a hearing. Like, you have to have some form of order, right? And then the person that runs the committee that doesn't do his job was just sort of ignoring her. So then, you know, they let it go. But before that, you know, Marjorie Taylor turns to AOC and she's like, did I hurt your feelings or something? And then AOC said, girl, no. Baby girl, no. In case you aren't familiar, all right, a girl followed by a baby girl is equivalent to showing a Glock. I've never had a woman tell another woman in front of me, girl, baby girl, without something happening next. That's because it's such gentle language. Because there's two women talking to each other. So girl implies like my girl, hey girl, you know what I mean? Girl, and then baby girl. Baby girl is smaller than girl. Baby girl comes from an even gentler place, but is somehow much more violent. Baby girl. I'll put it this way. Girl is hair. Girl is, you know, snatching up someone by their hair. Baby girl is choke. Baby girl is hands around the throat. One hand is baby, the other is girl. Baby girl. Poof. And then later, Representative Jasmine just asked the leader, the one who doesn't do his job. She was like, hey, I just want to check, just so I know the rules. I want to check if I were to say something about somebody's beach, blonde, bad built, botched body. And to be fair, look, I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what she said, because some people are like bad, beach, blonde, bad built, butch body, or beach, blonde, bad built, botched body. Either way, it's a bop. Either way. And that was like kind of off the dome. That was incredible. That was one of those things where I was reading it. I've never read like a news magazine before and been like, beach, blonde, bad built, butch body. Man, get Metro Boomin on that one. That's crazy. So I don't know exactly what she said, but she was like, if I were to mention somebody's beach, blonde, bad built, botched body, would that be engaging in personality attacks? And then a bunch of people on the Republican side made the same noise as the Democratic side before. And then they were like, this is not the time, blah, blah. And then Jasmine was like, no. Because y'all love to dish it out, but you can't take it. And then the article ended. And I was like, that's the problem with journalism today. That's what... Now I gotta go watch C-SPAN to see how it ended. I feel like one of the main things that I miss from being a kid is ooh. Do y'all remember ooh? Do y'all remember like ooh? What an incredible experience. Ooh is beautiful. You know what's so beautiful about it? It's one of those like communal experiences. No one teaches you how to do ooh when you're a kid. You know what I mean? No one sits you down and like, and sometimes you're gonna want to clap, and sometimes you're gonna be like ooh. Like no, your parents never give you a talk like that. You just are a kid, and then maybe you're talking in class, everybody's talking in class, and then the teacher gets frustrated, turns around, points out one kid and goes, Mr. Perkins, and then all the kids go, ooh. It's beautiful. It's almost like a religious experience that you're having outside of church. You know what I mean? Everybody knew to do it at the same time. Like starting a good slow clap. When a real slow clap happens, you're like, wow, we really did it, y'all. Ooh is beautiful. And then as you get older, ooh starts to go away a little bit. You know, because we all have different experiences. When you're a kid, most kids have the same general big fears, right? Getting called out in the middle of class, getting embarrassed, something happening, somebody. But as you get older, everything starts to splinter off. Everything goes in different directions, and so one person's ooh is another person's nothing, right? It's very hard as an adult to have an ooh experience, so I treasure them now when I have them. It's beautiful. Like I was walking down the street one day, and I was passing this bar, and there was a woman yelling at her boyfriend to the point that a crowd had gathered. Like it really felt like a street performance, the way that she was taking him to task. And she was like, I had 1 day off, JR. I had 1 day off and you ruined it. And he's like, I'm sorry. No, sorry's not enough. This has happened so many times. I have 1 day off, JR, and you ruined it. And then out of nowhere, she just swung and slapped him, right? Slapped him from everybody, and everybody was like, oh. And just like that, I was like, wow, I'm back in it. This is incredible. I went to a friend's wedding a while back, and the thing that was amazing to me about this wedding is just how personal it was, right? So it was a smaller wedding, so it wasn't like a huge room or anything, and the groom got his best friend to officiate the wedding, right? And I think that's kind of cool. You know, some people want someone, like if they have it at a church, they want like their pastor to do it, like, but just someone that makes it special, right? And then the couple, they wrote their own vows, which I also thought was pretty cool because it was very specific stuff to them that was like cute and was funny and stuff like that. And you can tell that the friend officiating was nervous because he was holding the mic, but it was like shaking in his hand, everything. It was all very, very sweet, right? And then it got that time to, you know, say like, do you take, and everything. And then, you know, Buddy looks at the groom and says, do you take Ashley to be your lawfully wedded wife? But Ashley was the groom's ex's name. Doesn't it just feel good to just let it out? Oh. You know, admittedly, I don't know much about dating, but I do know white people. And the weather has a real effect on y'all. It's a nice day out, and every person I made eye contact with has told me. Y'all saw the sunlight today. You were delighted. I was outside, and somebody walked up to me outside and was like, what a day. You know, and maybe it's just the New Yorker, but I was like, nah, I know, it's very good. They were like, nah, this is great. And in my head, I'm like, does it rain every other day or something? Good to know. No. I was happy for everyone. Everybody was having such a good time. You know, it's like the weather today felt like when your friend wants you to see a movie really bad, and then they watch it with you, but they watching you watch the movie to make sure you're enjoying it as much as. But then you're like, but I see it, and they're like, no, but are you paying attention? It's like, you not paying attention, you looking at me. There were a couple people I was concerned about. You know what I mean? Because there were a couple people. I was at the hotel, you know, I was chilling with Logan. We were about to go get something to eat. And there was one guy that was so happy, he got upset. You know what I mean? Like we saw him, you know, past him on the way out of the elevator. He's like, it's a really nice day. I was like, oh, buddy, it sounds like you needed this one. It sounded like one more day of rain, something was gonna happen, all right? I can see that same dude looking out the window. If I see another drop of rain, everybody dying. Then the clouds broke and he was like, yes, yes, yes. Because I was enjoying the weather too. I just didn't feel like I was doing a good enough job. Okay, you know, like when you go to like Six Flags or something and you having fun, but your friend is having the best time ever, to where you're like, I don't think we at the same place. You know, like y'all both walking up to the line for the Batman ride. And I guess it's just perspective. I guess it's just that when I walk up to the line, I see how long the line is. I'm like, oh, we gonna be standing here for 45 minutes. But he's looking up at the ride like, Batman. I'm like, yeah, buddy, yeah. Yeah, Batman, and we'll be there in 45 minutes. Oh. I had a realization that I'm getting older now, and as a man, like as a grown man, I'm actually too old now to get kidnapped. Like if I got snatched on the street and then they held me for ransom, as just, you know, as a man, you'd be like, nah, I live with y'all now. Like I can't. You can't send me back. That's too embarrassing. I just got snatched up like I was waiting for my mom after school. Y'all got me. We good. I'm part of the gang now. Don't. Can't send me back. Imagine. There's actually a statistic that nobody talks about. Thousands. I'm telling you, thousands of men go missing every year. We don't look, but thousands of men go missing. And I think it was 2021 where men going missing outpaced women going missing, right? And it's like an insane stat. When I was reading it, I didn't believe it. I was like, how is that possible? But I think it's because men know when they get snatched up, they're like, bro, just kill me, because I can't go back now. Imagine you a grown man with a family, right? You a grown man with children, and you got kidnapped, and then you come home and try to be the patriarch of your family, knowing you were a kidnapped man. You know what I mean? Knowing you a diet man, knowing you light. Standing there over your kid, telling him not to talk to strangers, and then your 8-year-old go, well, Dad, between the two of us, I'm not the one that's been snatched up before. I'm not the one that's walking around irresponsibly. Can't judge anybody though, because I am truly embarrassed about how much I'm still finding out about the world. You know, like at a certain point, you'd like to feel like an adult and I know things, I have a basic knowledge and I move from there, but that's not the case. I'm learning things every day. This next thing, look, I didn't know. Okay? I did not know. Please don't get mad at me. I had no idea. I had no idea that there were people in this world, the volume and frequency of men in this world, taking a picture of their penis and just sending it to women. I had no idea how it's happening every hour of every day all over the world. They didn't ask for the picture. They don't want the picture, and they can't unsee the picture, you know? But I found this out because it hit close to home. Because you ladies do a thing as well. Where you'll go out, maybe it's by yourself or maybe it's with your friends. You'll go out and you'll meet a guy and you don't really like him. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's no connection, there's no chemistry. You guys just aren't clicking. I don't know what it is. But you don't really like him. So at the end of the night, he asks you for your number. And you give him your number. But you give him one number off. You give him one number wrong, okay? Maybe it's the first number, maybe it's the last number. It's just not your number. I know that because I've been that number. For a period of 6 months, there was some random woman out in the world giving strange men my number. And for a period of 6 months, I was receiving penises in my phone. It was terrible. I'd wake up in the morning, thank the Lord for a new day. And then I'd do what we all do. I'd roll over and I'd check my phone. See what's going on in the world. See who's thinking about me. And there would be penises in my face. One of the most distressing things about this is that it wasn't even like, hey, what's up, it's Mark from last night, penis. It was just straight to the penis. Like, not even seeing it who I am, you know? Not even seeing how my day is going. I lived in fear of my own phone. My phone would buzz and I would pray there weren't 2 penises in my pants. It was so many that honestly I had to figure out what the plural for penises was. And I decided on penises. But I think I've got to stop. I think I got to stop. And this is actually a tip for you ladies if you want to use it. If you want men to stop sending you unsolicited pictures of their penis, all you need to do is what I did, which is send a picture of a penis back. They will not know what to do. They'll be terrified. No one is less prepared to receive a picture of a penis than a man that just sent a picture of a penis to what he thought was a woman. They'll be terrified. There's actually one where if you look at the text chain, it's just a picture of a penis, a picture of my penis, and then him going, Stephanie? Well, it's hurricane season again. This happens every year. Every year, hurricane season hits 5 major states in the U.S. the hardest. And every year, there are people who refuse to evacuate, and then they die for no reason. Now, these are also 5 states with the highest frequencies and most outlandish cases of discrimination. So I think I figured out how to save these people. If you want to get these people to evacuate, you need to stop naming hurricanes boring white people names. And name them something that these people will actually be terrified of, you know? No one's scared of Hurricane Bobby. I know Bobbies. Bobbies are delightful, okay? The Bobby I know, he bring brisket to brunch. He is amazing. He would never do those things that the news said he was gonna do in my neighborhood. You wanna scare these people, you need to get on the news like, tropical storm black son-in-law is coming down the Florida panhandle.
It's a tropical storm now, but it could graduate to a Category 5 mixed grandbabies. You know what I mean? Like, you want to get people, truly, you want to get people to get out of Georgia. You can't be like Hurricane Sebastian. Sebastian doesn't even sound like he would hurt anybody. Sebastian sounds like the worst thing that he do is roast you about the wallpaper. You know what I mean? He doesn't sound like he's going to rip the roof off. You're going to have to be like, Hurricane Woman President is coming, whether you like it or not. She's headed here. Hurricane Irma. I'm pretty sure Hurricane Irma was one of the least evacuated hurricanes of all time. They didn't even respect her, you know? Because honestly, Irma sounds like she one fall away from not being a hurricane anymore. You want to get these people out of Texas, you need to be like, Hurricane Mexican immigrant millionaire.
I be getting catcalled a lot. And this shit is terrible. Like, it is, I always knew it was bad, right? I never did it. But then, now that it's happening to me, I can see as bad as it was, like, now that it's actually happening to me. Because basically what happened is, over lockdown, I let my hair grow out, right? And apparently, from the back, I'm a bad bitch. Like, there's no way around it. It just sort of is what it is. So then, I do a thing, and I know I do this thing. It doesn't make it my fault that I'm getting catcalled, but I know I do this thing where I post up heavy with ass on one leg, right? So then I am standing there, right? And I'm just like posted up like this. Just like looking at the sky or like people walking by, people watching anything, right? Sometimes I'll switch it, but it's mostly the right side. And so I'll be on my right side, and then I'll just hear a damn baby girl, and then I turn around. And then they get mad at me, like I tricked them. I wasn't doing anything. I was looking at the clouds like a God-fearing woman, all right? You're the one that came over here bothering me. My friend got a new job, and for this new job, they drug tested him. And I heard about it. I was like, really? They still do that? Like it's the 50s or something? Why are we drug testing people? What is that? You know what I mean? Like, why are you checking to make sure that I didn't have fun before I worked here? Like, all you're doing is checking that I'm not too cool to work here, you know? Plus, if you're HR and you can't just tell who's on drugs, if you need a drug test, you should be the one hiring people. You know what I mean? I could spot a crackhead a mile away, all right? He's holding a hula hoop for no reason, trying to sell rims to no car around. Yeah, maybe don't give him the interview first. See how that worked? I didn't need anybody's pee. Because, like, I have another friend that, at her job, they found a heroin needle in the break room, right? So, like, you skipped, like, you went straight to like the druggy drug, like top drugs. Like this is just drugs now, you know what I mean? So I understand everyone was freaked out, and they found it like on the table, like not even throw away. They didn't even try to hide that they were doing heroin at work, you know? But then she told me, she was like, yeah, so we found this heroin needle in the break room and we couldn't figure out whose it was. And I was like, if you can't figure out whose heroin needle that was, that's the best person at their job, all right? They are not letting heroin affect their quality of work, okay? Either they're the best person at their job or y'all all suck. Y'all are all doing a heroin level of job at this job. You don't need to drug test anybody, you know? All you need to do is get some oil, some grease, just slick it up the floor a little bit, all right? Let everybody fall. Okay? Whoever take too long to get up is clearly on heroin. All right? Also, if they take too long to fall, if they slip like, that's a heroin fall. That's your man right there.
Have y'all been keeping up with this Jonah Hill thing? Yeah, okay, so real quick, if you don't know what it is, Jonah Hill's ex put out a bunch of his text messages to her while they were dating, and she was a surfer, she still is, and then they were dating while she was surfing, and it's him being like, why you gotta surf around men, and she's like a surfer and a surf instructor, he's like, why you gotta surf with men, and why you gotta post pictures of yourself surfing in a bikini and all that. So it was all this shit like that, right? And you can see a decline in the text messages where he's clearly so worried about being cheated on, he's not making sense. He's like, why you gotta surf with dude? Because then if you're surfing and then he's surfing, what if y'all start surfing on each other? You know what I mean? And then like y'all are surfing together, and what if you get surf in your mouth? And then now you were just covered in surf, and you come home and you're like got surf on you. I was like, nigga, are you all right? Like, so there's been a lot of backlash about him being narcissistic and misogynistic and everything. And I think Jonah Hill committed a cardinal sin. He really did. Jonah Hill told a woman what to do while being an ugly motherfucker. Can't do that shit. You cannot do that shit. Like, look at the text and then look at his face. You cannot tell anybody what to do, sir. That's too much bass in your text right now for that hairline you got, you know? I'm not gonna lie, if John Hamm had sent those same texts, if John Hamm was like, I don't want you talking to any other men, you'd be like, okay, daddy. Like, Did y'all see the Alabama brawl? Yo, who knew Wakanda was in Alabama? That was crazy. You know, that was wild. So many people came out of nowhere. That shit was like Black January 6th. That was like, that was crazy. If you didn't see the video, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll explain it really quick. Basically, there was this one guy. He was an employee of the place, right? And he was like asking these people to move their boat, you know? So it was a black employee, but he was asking these people who happened to be white that had the boat to move their boat, and they wouldn't move the boat. I don't even know if this part is true, but I heard that the riverfront boat that was waiting to dock had been waiting for like 40 minutes because these people refused to move, right? So finally he just keeps going, like, you gotta move the boat, you gotta move the boat. They get out of their boat, they're cursing at him, and he's not backing down. He's like, you have to move the boat, I work here, you have to move the boat. And then they just keep cursing at him. Finally they put hands on him, and then they start fighting him, and he did his best. He held his own for quite a while. So it's not like they beat his ass, but they were clearly ganging up on this dude, right? And, you know, a lot of people, as soon as they saw the video, they got upset. I got upset when I thought it was going to bum me out just seeing like 5 white dudes ganging up on this like middle-aged black dude and everything. And some people were upset about the racial part immediately. But I'm not going to lie. I was distracted. I wasn't. I didn't hate these people because they were ganging up on them and they were white. I hated them because they had a boat. You know what I mean? This isn't just a race thing. These rich fucks with a boat are trying to beat up a working class person. Is insane. You know, made me furious. And then they started fighting them, and then like other people came. And, you know, a lot of black people already saw what was happening. So then when the riverfront boat docked and other black people who saw what was happening, they all just swarmed. It looked like, like that one episode in Game of Thrones where, you know, they were losing, but then just more just came down the mountain. It was like, I was like, God damn, okay, wow. Send in the troops, apparently. I should back up. When the fight started, the initial fight where the dude was getting ganged up on, he just threw his hat. Just threw it, and that almost felt like a signal. As a black person, I didn't know that was our call to arms. I didn't know this was like, oh, okay, all right, we go now. That was wild to begin with. Then it was crazy because then so many people swarmed in, it turned into a huge brawl. And I don't know if you saw a video, but there was one person that wanted to help when they saw him getting jumped so badly that this nigga swam. Jumped in the water. From the camera angle, we don't know where he came from. I'd like to think he came from Africa. I'd like to think he started swimming 6 weeks ago in preparation. Because look, if you know, the history of of black people swimming, especially in the South, you know that we're not known for it. You know what I mean? And so I'm not gonna critique his swimming because I was just happy to see another black dude swim. That's just, every one of us swimming is a W, okay? But I do have to comment because he wasn't swimming normal. Did you see him swim? He wasn't swimming regular. This was not regular swimming, right? This man wasn't swimming to the fight. This man was punching the water till he got there. I knew he was gonna whoop ass when he got out of the water because he would. I've never seen someone punch water till they got to their location. That was so crazy. Go back and watch the video. This man punching with horsepower. Like, I've never seen anything like it. And then he gets out of the water, starts whooping ass, everybody whooping ass and everything. So you know that those white people, when it started fighting, then started more fighting, you know they were relieved when the cops got there, but they must have been conflicted because half the cops were black. Like that's a situation where even when the cops arrive, you're like, ooh, whose side are you on? Because I was kind of doing a thing before you got here. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's what's so wild. Because I think also I've tried to put my mind in. I've tried to put myself in the mind of each person that was in the video in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because that's a terrifying thing. To get jumped is a terrifying thing. Then the person swimming. Then I'm just trying to think about every angle that I could think about it from. I'm not gonna lie. That must have been a huge surprise because you out here ganging up on this one dude with your buddies, and then before you know it, there's just like 50 black people. That's Listen, I'm telling you right now, let's say y'all just blinked, and when you opened your eyes, there were 50 black people behind me. I'm not even saying you'd be scared, but you'd be surprised. You'd be like, wow, that was fast. That's all you'd say. You know? Because that's the thing. That's, I think, the strangest part, one of the weirdest parts, like when you start watching the video, let's say you start watching the video, you had no context, nobody told you what was gonna happen, you hadn't seen any of the memes yet. The craziest thing about what happens is that, especially as a black person, I think some people are curious why black people have been memeing the shit out of it and everything. It's because if you know the South and you know the history of 5 white guys ganging up on a black guy and how that usually goes, you know, especially when they have enough money for a boat. Usually doesn't turn out well, you know what I mean? And so this was a different thing. This is a different outcome than we've ever really seen before, you know? Because I'll be honest with you. Let's say we're in a different time and there's no camera phones and they were able to leave before the cops got there. They would have just beat up that dude and left, you know? And that's my thing where it's like, okay, yeah, whoop their ass, we all laugh, we all celebrate, whatever, but like, fuck up that boat. Like, fuck up the... What are you doing? Like, bust up the bow or something. Like, rip a rudder out, please. I do think that would hurt them more than the ass whooping. They just be standing there and looking like skippers. Not the boat!
You know what's actually crazy? I thought about this weekend. You know what I've never done at all in my life? I had to really think about it. Never once in my life have I Googled Jada Pinkett Smith. So why do I know so much? Why do any of us know so much? Isn't that crazy? I've never even Googled Jada and Will. I've never sought any of this information. I know so much about them, it feels like we're related. It's devastating. I don't know if y'all saw the most recent interview. She's giving her 1,000th. And in it, she says that her and she says so many things. First of all, she said that she sold crack when she lived in Baltimore, which is like believable. That's a very entry-level job in Baltimore. That part I was like, and? But then she also said her and Will have been separated for like 7 years. Which what? She also said that Tupac is her soulmate. It's like she's going out of her way to hurt Will's feelings now. This is really insane. Tupac is your soulmate. You've been married for decades. My soulmate's a guy from the 90s. And the more I think about it, and the more I listen to Jada talk, the more that I'm convinced that Tupac died to get away from her. Like, I feel like... Easily. They dated for a while, you know what I mean? And then he got a taste of what Will has lived with. And then he was in Vegas and he got into it with some dudes on some gang shit and stuff like that. And they shot at him and he thought about what life would be like with Jada. And so he just leaned into the bullet. She said they haven't been together. Her and Will have not been together since 2016, which does make the slap more confusing now. That's right, because like that, they haven't lived together since 2016. Now it feels less like you were defending your wife and more like you just wanted to hit Chris Rock. Like, turn that man to a tambourine for no reason. That's insane. It really is. Like, what? Not even defending your wife at this point. You were defending your neighbor, I guess. Haven't lived together since 2016. It also makes the entanglement more confusing now. Watching Will and Jada is just like the Black Inception. You know what I mean? It's just a nightmare and a nightmare and a nightmare. There's twists that nobody asked for. What? Entanglement. Because then, this is my thing. If they weren't together, why'd they have that whole talk acting like they were together? It made them look worse. Why did they do that? It made her look like a cheater and him look like a cuck, but then they weren't together. So what's the big deal now? I mean, the big deal is that she fucked her son's friend, which is... A lot of people don't know that. That was Jaden's friend. So Jaden over there waiting for play dates and stuff. Ain't nobody showing up like it's a Brazzers video. It's so chaotic. No, it's just very chaotic. And look, I want to be fair for a second. I do want to be fair. Everyone comes for Jada and everybody shits on Jada so hard. And I get it. It's easy because she won't stop talking. But like, some of this is on Will. We can all agree about some of this is genuinely on Will. People blame Jada for the slap. That's not her fault. That's a grown man. And he got up there and he slapped another grown man. You can't blame her for that. It's not like she used her powers. And people blame a lot of the marriage stuff on just Jada. Will is also married to Jada. You know what I mean? He could get a divorce if he wants to, but he doesn't want to. He does not want, and if you pay attention to the interviews, he said it. Divorce is not an option. He'd rather them live as single people and still be married than to get a divorce. Which is weird. It is weird. I understand. For a long time, they were the symbol of black love, especially in Hollywood, right? And that's a symbol that he carefully curated that maybe she didn't want to be a part of, but it's one of the reasons he can't let it go, because it's a failure that he will not accept, right? But to just live as two single people but still be married is weird. It's very odd. Who is it for? It's not for them. They're not together. It's not for us, because now she aired it out. Everybody knows. It's not for the kids, because they're already weird.
So who is this for? And like, I mean, it must be rough. I do get it. I have empathy for both of them genuinely, because I think Will, came on strong, wants to make it work and everything, and Jada was just not having it. And a part of me, I'm wrapping up, but just a part of me, a part of me gets it. Because if it's not the life that she wanted, it shouldn't be the life she accepted. That's fair. You're an adult in the world and you make your own decisions and you need to live by them, right? But also, to be fair to her, I don't have a gorgeous millionaire trying to fuck me and marry me. I don't know. It probably seems pretty hard to turn down. I'm not gonna lie. Like if Zendaya walked in here right now and y'all look like you're together, if she told you, bro, if she was like, I want to marry you and be with you for the rest of my life, you'd probably be like, look, I'm in a happy relationship and I found my happiness. I hope you find yours. I'm not saying it'd be easy to say to her. You'd probably say it after I do, but
I don't know if y'all saw, but Sam Bankman-Fried was found guilty on all charges. If you don't know who Sam Bankman-Fried is, he's the dude who looked like somebody microwave Shia LaBeouf. He was behind a multi-billion-dollar crypto scandal, and took a lot of people's money. Had a lot of powerful friends, so he could take a lot of people's money. He was found guilty, and he made a serious mistake. He stole money from rich people. Well, when you think about it, it's really all he did wrong. If you steal from the poor, you're gonna be pretty good off. Like, I don't know. This dude is gonna go away for a long time, which is crazy because I don't really understand what he did. But I'm glad he didn't do it to me. You ever just, because I never got into crypto because I didn't understand it, so you ever just be so dumb you miss a whole tragedy? Because I saw the whole thing coming. I was having FOMO and everything, and then everybody started losing their money. I was like, maybe it pays to not read sometimes. Maybe it's to my benefit that I have stayed as ignorant as possible on very specific subjects in life. I was having a conversation with a friend from back home, and so many things work in connection together to get me where I am. I saw this article about this guy. I think his name's, I might be mispronouncing it, but Brian Mwende, and he is in Kenya, and he was a lawyer. He was a fake lawyer. And he won 26 cases straight. Twenty-six cases straight, one after the other. WWWW. And then they finally caught him. And now he is awaiting trial, where I pray he represents himself. That's phenomenal. 26. You got fake, and apparently it's a whole thing. I didn't know this. In Kenya, this is a whole thing. There are a bunch of fake lawyers, because he was just the first one. There's a bunch of fake lawyers that just never actually passed the bar, but they've been practicing. I guess they got a storefront or something. Like, I don't know, you just walk in and you're like, you seem like a lawyer. The only way I know any lawyer has been a lawyer that I've ever worked with was the paper on the wall behind their desk. If that's fake, I have a fake lawyer. That's my favorite story, though. My favorite thing that happened was Paris Fashion Week. If y'all aren't familiar, Paris has Fashion Week, and all these people high up in the fashion world, rich people, celebrities, they all descended on Paris for a week to see and be seen and stuff. And while they were there was an outbreak of bed bugs, which is hilarious. It couldn't be. You gathered all the richest people in the world together in one place and gave them bed bugs? Are we sure this wasn't an activist? You sure this wasn't Greta Thunberg trying new things? You know what I mean? Just her sitting there like, you take a jet, you pays the price. You know, could have been, we don't know. But it was amazing. They gave all those rich people bed bugs. It made me laugh so hard because it's Fashion Week, so half of them dress like bed bugs to begin with. So like, bed bugs probably thought it was mating season, you know what I mean? They were seeing them walk by like, okay, come through, thickness. I'm gonna take a bite of you later. But no, people from Fashion Week spoke to the press and the public. People from the local government spoke to the press and the public and everything. And mostly everyone was trying to maintain a sense of calm the entire time, right? We're very sorry that this is happening. This is not a reflection on our beautiful city. We're doing our best to move people. Just please stick with us, right? But there was one person that was my favorite. The deputy mayor also spoke to the public and the press. But when the deputy mayor came out, he was like, it's an outbreak. No one is safe. What kind of leader says no one is safe? We just came out of a global pandemic where no country's leader said no one is safe, even when no one was safe. That's crazy. Then the mayor, because the mayor came out, she was ready. She was like prim, proper. She made me feel reassured, and I wasn't even in Paris, right? And then she got this assistant-ass mayor behind her. No one is safe. She's probably like, get him out of here. It's crazy. No one is safe. Every leader I've ever had has tried to maintain a sense of calm in a crisis. I remember when I was in middle school, in English class. And English class was after lunch. And I had seen this kid at lunch, and he had a nasty-ass lunch. I don't know what it was, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, he gonna be sick. That is disgusting. And so then I sat as far away from him as I could, corner of the classroom. And then middle of class, sure enough, his stomach started bubbling. And we all hear it. He's just over here taking notes like... looking at us like, y'all don't hear me, right? It's like, of course we hear you. His stomach is loud as hell. And then in the middle class, he jumps up and runs out. And on the way to running out, because he was very sick, he threw up on the back of like 7 kids' heads. And our teacher said, calm down. I know y'all just got thrown up on. Let me get some towels. It's gonna be fine. She didn't say, no one is safe. You see what I mean? I worked at an Italian restaurant that burned down, right? It burned down, and even as the head chef was trying to put the flames out on his back, no one yelled, no one is safe. We just tried to put this man out. Actually, one of my favorite things about when that happened was, okay, so the chef is on fire, right? And then the line cook ran out to the dining hall where everybody else was, and then just yelled to the whole dining hall, we on fire, motherfuckers! Which is like as informative as it is unhelpful. Like, he's telling them the details, but not enough to get them moving. Also, we are not on fire, just he is on fire. Some of the building is on fire, but mostly as we, it's just him. He on fire by himself, right? And so no one knows what to do, because even if someone ran in now and was like, we on fire, motherfuckers, you wouldn't immediately jump up and run. They looked at him and they were like, so is he on drugs or what's And it wasn't until the chef ran out behind him out the door with a couple flames still on his back that everybody cleared out. He yelled, we on fire, motherfuckers. He didn't yell, no one is safe. What would even possess you to put the words to get to the public, no one is safe? Like when I think about it, now that I think about it, I think that was that deputy mayor low-key admitting he had bed bugs. That's what it was. It had to be no one is safe. That means I'm not safe. That's no one is safe. I wish there was video. There's no video of it happening. But you can tell that this is the case because anytime one of our leaders has to speak to us, they're calm because it's not their problem. That's what's happening. I grew up in Louisiana. Our whole state would get slammed by hurricanes, and the governor would come on TV and be like, we're gonna stick in this together, all right? We're all in this together. He's clearly in Massachusetts, by the way. We're all in this together, all right? Y'all just stick with me, we're gonna get through this. You know what I mean? I think that dude freaked out because it was his problem. It's hard to stay calm when you're in the middle of something, you know? I wish there was video. There's no video. I wish he would just come out, because you know he yelled it. You know, he was like, no one is safe. It's happening to everybody, including really cool people who don't deserve this. God damn, I wish there was a video just to see him be like, it's an outbreak, y'all. We doing our best, but this is bullshit. I thought I had it all figured out, you know. I was sexting. And sexting's a very precarious situation. You want to make sure you're sexting at the right time, you know? Because if it's like 8 o'clock, you still got other people texting you, you know? You don't want to accidentally send a text that's incoming to somebody because you opened the thing, you know what I mean? And it's also like, what if you're not that skilled? Like, what if I'm not good texting with just my left hand? Now you texting typos and stuff. It's knocking the sexy right out of your sexting. You know, it's like, I'm gonna fud your bass. It's like, nobody's into it now. You know? So I had an idea. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And I didn't talk to anybody about it. I had never heard anybody doing this, but in my mind, it was the best thing to do. I was like, I'm just gonna speak to text. So that way I don't gotta worry about the other hand and everything, and I can just like get in the zone and stuff. I don't have to worry about other people texting me and everything. And it went horribly wrong. Because I wasn't at home. I was at my childhood home. So I was in my room, but it wasn't my house, you know? And it was, 9 o'clock or so, and we were sexted. Look, I'll read you the thing right now. This is what. Okay. All right. So she's like, "Oh, okay. And what's good? What would you do if you were here right now?" And then I was like, "Girl, I would tear those clothes off." And Mom, what are you doing in here? Mom, I had the door closed. You can't just open the door. I was just coming to see if you wanted dinner. No, I'm okay. Mom, get out right now. Boy, how you gonna tell me to get out somewhere in my house? I'm sorry, Mom. Please, can you please leave and close the door? You know we don't have closed doors in this house. Which is true. That's a very, like, black family thing of, like, you not closing the door in my house. What you up to in there? And I was like, Mama, please leave. Please. Please leave. And she was like, all right, what's the big deal? I was like, nothing, Mom, just please get out of here. So anyway, girl, I would say... All right, thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great night. It's nice to be in Brea. I do mean it. I'm being sincere. I've never felt safer. Oh, no. The median income here is $123,000, so you may not relate to these poor jokes. Poverty, you say? Sounds terrible. Because y'all also have, like, kind of, okay, how do I put this? Y'all's crime here is a little bit like soap opera drama level crime. Like, it was a guy that just got arrested for impersonating a plastic surgeon. I've never been to Brea before, but that's the most Brea thing I've ever heard of in my entire, like, it's the most Orange County type thing I've heard. This dude was impersonating a plastic surgeon, and a bunch of people came forward being like, I thought he was a plastic surgeon. And so he's locked up right now. Hopefully he goes to jail for a very long time. But apparently him misrepresenting himself as, there are lots of charges because he was practicing. But one of the charges is misrepresenting himself as a medical professional, which is only a misdemeanor. I'm not like a fan of jail, but that needs to be a felony. Like, that's crazy. If someone asks you if you're a doctor, you should have to say no if the answer's no. That's so crazy that someone's like, you're like a real plastic surgeon, right? He was like, like that. That is so horrific. Like, I don't think y'all understand. This dude needs to be buried under a prison. You have never needed like a medical professional without really needing a medical professional. It's never something that you've like dabbled with before. You know what I mean? It's also not something that you can just help with because you feel like it. Like, I'm not a firefighter. Don't have the bill, can't carry the gear. But I've stepped on a cigarette before. Do you know what I mean? You know how you can step in, you can do a little something even though the job is not your full job. Medical professional is like black and white. It really is. And so he was arrested. He apparently he did it again so fast after having done it the first time that the article I read said he was rearrested. That's not a word, is it? A journalist had to say rearrested, it was so fast. I live in Brooklyn, and I like it too. I live in Brooklyn, and there was a shooting in my neighborhood. This dude was like a known gang member, got shot at this bodega. He got shot in like the hip, like he's alive, he's all right, but he got shot at 5 a.m. There's no good time to be shot. But getting shot that early is... A lot of people don't know this about gangs. I've never been in a gang, but I've known people who were in gangs and like... But like... Gangs do kind of have office hours. Do you know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, they are like, nobody buying right now. Why would we just stay up all night? That's crazy, right? And so, it's not as if gangs are always just ganging at all hours of the night. They go home at some point. And so to be shot at 5 a.m. means somebody hates you so much, they set an alarm. Because the worst thing about getting shot at 5 a.m., if you get shot at like 3 p.m., right? You can call somebody, oh, they got me. What? What happened? I got shot. Oh, I'm on my way. I got you, right? You get shot at 5 a.m. Everybody gonna be asleep. Pick up, hello? I got shot. Oh, they got me. Come pick me up. I said I got shot. Pick me up. I'm bleeding out. All right. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Like, I don't think I would handle being shot well. But if I got shot at 5 a.m., I'd be like, shoot me again. I don't want to deal with these problems. I don't know. I saw the Biden signed it and everything. Maybe it'll happen. Talking about banning TikTok. The clock is winding down. Oof. Oof. $1 billion company. Maybe gone. They either have to sell off to another buyer. They cannot remain this Chinese company. Or they have to leave. I don't know how you make somebody leave Wi-Fi, but yeah, they have to get out. They'll be banned across the nation. And they say it's for, our safety and everything. They say it's for, security and stuff. Which I think I accidentally already gave them everything. Like, that can't possibly be true because I already let them turn my face into so many faces. Like, I've been a dog, a caterpillar, I've been like another dude. Like, whatever it is, they have it. But, maybe, whatever. And let's say that that's the case. Let's say that our security is at stake, and so they pushed this thing through Congress, and then they signed it in record time because it was a danger to us, and they care. I said, let's say. But let's say that is the case. Well, you know what? Good on them. Now do the pharmaceutical companies and the banks and the... Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we've been begging for insulin to be like $1 for decades, and they're like, the best I can do is taking away how you talk to people. Far be it for them to regulate a bank. Because this is my thing. That's what bothers me about it. Is that I don't even care about the ban one way or the other. I really don't. It's like people are going to find a way to communicate. What bothers me is that it's like you're telling this other company how to run their business for the sake of the citizens, right? Which is exactly what we've been asking them to do for so many different things. Like, we're like, can you just get them to not sell us poison? Because the poison already in there when we buy it. And they're like, far be it for us to tell a company how to run their business. Yeah. I mean, far be it for me to act like I know better than the people who don't understand TikTok. Those hearings are always so embarrassing. They're so genuinely distressing. When these are leaders of, you could say, the free world, right? We call the president the leader of the free world, but the president is beholden by checks and balances to a Congress. They get that Congress to come together, and then they get experts and CEOs from the most powerful companies in the world, and they do a hearing where they're like, can you open my phone? And then you see these CEOs, these billionaires, try not to smile, try not to be like, oh, I can do whatever I want. That dude came from TikTok, right? Dude came from TikTok, went to the hearing, and then dude kept asking him about China. And at one point, the guy just had to be like, I'm not even Chinese. Like, I'm not Chinese. It's like you would think he was asking him for like spots to eat. The amount of times this dude had to say, bro, I'm not Chinese though. Like, I'm not. Like, I want you. It's the company? Yes, I am not. Sir, I am not Chinese. It was funny because he started interrupting questions just to be like, you gotta understand that I'm not from China. Like, if I leave here with nothing else, you gotta understand that I am not from China. This is clearly just a me thing, but does it bother you when people ask you for directions? I get so nervous and upset. I have a range of emotions when people ask me. Because then, okay, I live in New York, and somebody's asked me for directions to get to the 2 train. And I don't take that train often, but I pass that train sometimes. So I was telling them how to get there, and as I was pointing, they pointed with me, and they were like, so this way. And when they went to point with me, I saw that they were holding their phone. And I was like, so what are we doing here? Is it a typing issue? Why couldn't you done stressed me out for the past 40 seconds. Because this is my thing. I'm so bad at directions myself. Like, just when I lead myself, I'm bad. So then if I have to tell someone else how to get lost, I get so stressed out about it. I assume everyone I've ever given direction to has taken the first turn I told them to take, and then they died. Like, I think I hold so much stress about someone listening to my directions and then either me being wrong or them not listening right, then still being lost and being like, that son of a bitch. I don't even know them. I don't know why I need them to like me, but I'm so, it's the worst. It's the worst. I want to make it sound like I'm being creepy, but I had a show. I was in Brooklyn. I had a show. And after the show, I was just hanging out at the bar. There were some people at the bar. I don't know if they were at the show or if they weren't, but they were talking about, it was 2 guys talking about just the general issue of like homophobia as far as just men are concerned, right? And one guy, they were both a little drunk, but one guy was saying to the other guy, he's like, we have to do something about it as a whole, because I look at my cousin and I love my cousin so much. My cousin is gay, but I don't think about, he's just my cousin. And I want the world to be able to look at my cousin the way that I do. I don't see him as some gay guy or something like that. He's my cousin. So we have to do something about overall homophobia as it stands in the mind, you know? And also, I just want to be able to eat a hot dog. There's not enough time to unpack everything in that one sentence. Because he didn't just mean I'm hungry right now. Like, he didn't just mean we have to tackle this issue and I'd like to eat. He means I want to be able to eat a hot dog, but I can't because of homophobia. No, sir. This is a fraught world for a lot of people. A lot of different groups have to deal with an incredible amount of persecution and a burden that they should not have to bear. But you eating a hot dog is completely on you. Because first of all, I cannot tell from that sentence if he's never eaten a hot dog, because he's scared of where it'll take him. Because also, if you're so scared of eating a hot dog that you like, I can't do it, that's you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to do any exploring. You know your destination. So I was like, either he's so scared he's never had a hot dog, or he eat hot dogs so wild that people pass by and go, what are you doing? And then he goes, this homophobia cannot stand.
Knock it.